Astral projection. I'm going to show you how to go from here to here. Stay with me. There are literally hundreds of how to astral project videos on YouTube, and even more guided astral projection meditation videos. But if you look closely at the comment section of these videos, you'll notice a bit of a trend. For every comment reporting success, there are usually 20 comments reporting failure. So with all of these how-to videos and guided meditations, why are there so many people still failing to consciously astral project for the first time, or failing to repeat the experience more than once? I've been running astral projection retreats and workshops for many years now, and during this time, I discovered most people don't have enough energy reserves such as chi and prana to trigger their first conscious astral projection experience, or to even repeat the experience on a regular basis. Right, so with this key insight in mind, let me share my personal astral projection system with you, including how I build the necessary energy to actually leave my body. My personal astral projection practice is mostly based around a 90-minute period before sunrise, which is reported in the ancient Vedic tradition as being the ideal time for doing spiritual practices, because high levels of prana are abundant in the atmosphere at that time. But look, regardless of that ancient wisdom, whatever time of day or night you can actually prioritize for practice, that is the ideal time. The most important factor is that you're consistent with your practice. So choose a time of day that works best for you and then practice, practice, practice. And although it is reported abundant energy like prana is available before sunrise, just get smart and find creative solutions for generating good vibes in your home anytime, day of night. For me, one of my favorite ways to generate powerful energies for astral projection are pyramids. Pyramids can be constructed out of almost any material, including stone, metal, plastic, wood, even cardboard, which means you can use pretty much whatever you have available to you, because the most important element of a pyramid is its shape, not the building materials. Also, it doesn't really matter the pyramid's size, because although the energy is most concentrated within the pyramid structure itself, it will still have a very positive effect on everything around it. So, if you like that idea, if you like the idea of building your own pyramid, check out the links in the description below for my recommended pyramid power ideas for building and amplifying universal energies for your astral projection success. Okay, whether you work 9 to 5 or night shift, it doesn't matter. Using a wake back to bed method is a proven way to create the perfect conditions for astral projection. In lucid dreaming and astral projection circles, wake back to bed is the given name for a sleep interruption technique, where you wake up earlier than usual to do your practice. Waking up earlier than usual to practice lucid dreaming and astral projection means your body will be more relaxed after the initial sleep, while your mind stays awake and alert for practice. Just be sure to get a minimum of 6 hours of sleep before doing a wake back to bed practice, as the deeper rejuvenation sleep takes place during the first half of a good night's sleep. Okay, what follows is my personal wake back to bed routine. After setting my alarm clock, I climb into bed and I do 3 things. First, I set a strong intention to enter a deep sleep, so I feel rested when the alarm goes off. Next, I practice gratitude with a simple prayer, because I find that being grateful, being thankful, is one of the strongest manifestation tools in the universe. A simple prayer could be something like, "Good evening, universe. It's Todd Acamesis here. Thank you for this day and for all the wonderful opportunities to grow and evolve my consciousness. Also, I've set my alarm clock to wake me up 90 minutes before sunrise so I can do my astral projection practice, which I'm really looking forward to, because I'm really looking forward to astral projecting, astral traveling to high vibrational worlds with your assistance. Thank you." I then allow these feelings of gratitude to wash completely through me. Last, I drift off to sleep with just one thought in my mind and one feeling in my heart: astral projection and excitement. Okay, so your alarm clock wakes you up after a good night's sleep. What happens next? In a classic wake back to bed routine, you wake up, go to the toilet, quench your thirst, read a book on the topic of lucid dreaming or astral projection for 15 minutes or so to get yourself in the zone before returning to bed with the intention to practice techniques as you fall back to sleep. Now, for the purpose of astral projection, we're not aiming to fall back to sleep as usual. We're aiming to create what's known as the mind awake, body asleep state, where your mind is awake and alert and your body feels heavy and maybe even in a state of paralysis, basically asleep. You also want to commit to a certain amount of time to do your wake back to bed practice session, because after years of running astral projection workshops for beginners, I've learned short practice sessions are usually not enough time to achieve the best results. Based on the results from over 1,000 of my students, I discovered 90 to 120 minutes is the minimum time needed for a successful astral projection practice session. For my own personal practice, I actually set aside 3 hours for my session, which might seem like a big time commitment, but for me, the juice has to be worth the squeeze. And 3 hours is equivalent to 2 sleep cycles, which means it gives me a long window to tap into the natural rhythms of my mind. I also suggest practicing for a minimum of 3 to 4 times a week for a minimum of 3 months with the attitude I will keep going until I succeed. Just make it your personal mantra by repeating it before every session to psych yourself up. I will keep going until I succeed. I will keep going until I succeed. I will keep going until I succeed. Because if you were not born with the gift to astral project as a talent, then you need to develop it as a skill. And like with all skills, it takes time. But I promise the rewards for staying committed are great, because the first time you leave your physical body and fly above the treetops and housetops where you live, and then astral travel to another world, you're going to wake back into your body with the glow of 1,000 suns. And that will just be the tip of the iceberg of what's to come. Okay, stay with me, because with those important basics covered, we can now move on to the techniques to help you build your energy and leave your body on a regular basis. Right, so you're back in bed. What do you do next? Let's start with body position. If you'll be doing your astral projection practice session in your bed, then I recommend 2 positions. Position 1 with the pillows at the head end of the bed for sleeping, and position 2 with the pillows at the foot end of the bed for astral projection. This creates the ideal mindset for both sleeping and astral projection, depending on the position you're sleeping in. Also, I suggest corpse pose as your standard body position when practicing in bed, because it's one of the easiest positions for feeling energy flowing through your body, which is such an incredibly motivational feeling. So you're in corpse pose with your head on a pillow at the foot end of the bed. Now it's time to start building your energy levels to help you leave your body. For me, I combine deep breathing with affirmations. With deep breathing, you're not just breathing in air, but also the universal energy known as prana, because the breath is the physical manifestation of prana. And affirmations, which are powerful statements of your intention, help create an intense state of concentration, which in turn creates the ideal conditions for astral projection, which is best summarized by the classic law of attraction principle, where attention goes, energy flows. Okay, so let's go through a deep breathing exercise and the affirmation I personally use. Lying on your bed in corpse pose, close your eyes and start breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you're a complete beginner to breathing exercises, I recommend you maintain an even breathing pattern where the inhale and the exhale are even. For example, if you breathe in for 2 seconds, you breathe out for 2 seconds. This ensures an even breathing pattern. And to keep things really simple, we're not going to get too technical. Ordinary belly breathing will do for now. So when you inhale, expand your belly, and when you exhale, contract it. So basically your belly moves up and down during inhale and exhale, and your chest remains relatively still. If you'd like to do your own research on breathing exercises, which I highly recommend you do, I've included some really good links in the description, which you can check out at the end of the video. Right, let's take this a little bit further. With each inhale, imagine drawing prana into your body, but not just through your breathing, but also through your third eye, as well as through your skin. So do your belly breathing and then start imagining prana being drawn in through your breath, your third eye, your skin. Just imagine the prana as white light. Okay, that's the breathing with a little imagination mixed in to make it more powerful. Now let's add in the affirmation. As you continue the breathing and using your imagination to draw in white light, start repeating the affirmation, I am light. I am light. I am light. Just repeat the affirmation again and again, silently in your mind, not out loud. All right, now you're belly breathing, using imagination, and repeating an affirmation. Just continue this combination for about 5 to 10 minutes without stopping. After a few days of getting used to this style of breathing, you can slowly increase to 10 to 20 minutes and eventually 20 to 30 minutes. For my own astral projection practice, I spent around 30 to 60 minutes building energy and creating the conditions for astral projection. But it took me a few months to get there, so take your time with that. Right, so not only will this combination allow you to build a powerful momentum of energy for astral projection, but also an intense state of concentration where your mind becomes focused like a laser, which means no distractions, just pure focus. So if you nail this first stage, you'll feel like a rocket sitting on a launch pad ready for blast off. Okay, time for blast off. Stay with me as we go through the astral projection techniques. Straight after finishing the breathing and affirmation exercise, you want to make an immediate switch to doing astral projection techniques because this immediate switch will allow you to channel all the energy you just created as a powerful force for leaving your body. Just make the switch without opening your eyes or moving your physical body. For this next stage, it's essential you keep your physical body as still as possible. Do your best to keep movement to a minimum and keep your eyes closed. You're in corpse pose for a reason, so act like a corpse and stay still. By keeping your physical body absolutely as still as possible while doing the techniques, you'll tune out your physical senses while tuning in your non-physical senses, which allows you to become more sensitive to the energy sensations which can guide you out of your body. But keep in mind, if you have an itch, just scratch it, because not scratching it will break your state far more than scratching it ever will. And if your arm or your leg starts to hurt for no reason, just move it, stretch it, adjust it, whatever, because dealing with it will be less distracting than not dealing with it. Also, from this point onwards, if at any point you find yourself in your head thinking about non-goal related stuff like problems at work or paying your bills, or worse, your thoughts are focused on negative self-talk, stuff like, why is nothing happening? Why am I not feeling vibrations? Why does this never work for me? Why am I wasting my time? If at any point you find yourself in your head doing any of this stuff, it's on you to get yourself back out of your head, because if you don't do it, who's going to? You literally have to be both student and coach during this training, and it's going to take time to retrain your mind to be success-focused versus focusing on failure. So if you get stuck in your head, you have to coach yourself on getting unstuck, because if you stay stuck in your head, you stay stuck in your body too. It's that simple. Whenever I get stuck in my own head during practice, I repeat the affirmation, I keep going until I succeed. I keep going until I succeed. I keep going until I succeed. I just repeat it again and again in my head until I feel psyched up again. I then push on with my practice with no excuses. Okay, so I think you get the importance of keeping as still as possible and staying out of your head. Let's move on. So immediately after finishing the breathing and affirmation exercise, I switched to doing astral projection techniques. My personal technique has 2 stages. Stage 1 is active techniques, where I use a combination of imagination and affirmations to stimulate my energy body and astral body. And stage 2 is a passive technique where I allow myself to space in and out of awareness to achieve an even deeper state of relaxation. Now keep in mind, astral projection effects can occur at any point during stage 1 or stage 2, and occasionally during the breathing and affirmation exercise. Also, you'll notice I use the word imagination, not visualization. This is because there is a slight difference. Visualization involves creating mental images with your mind's eye. Imagination involves all your non-physical senses, including touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. Which means if you struggle to visualize an object, imagine it with a sense of touch, taste, sound, or smell. Instead of visualizing a rose, you imagine smelling a rose. Okay, let's do a quick exercise. Close your eyes for me. Now imagine standing barefoot on a wooden floor. Standing next to you is an old grandfather clock, which stands against a red brick wall. Now imagine temperature, textures, and vibrations. Imagine the temperature of the wooden floor against your bare feet. Is it warm or cold to the touch? Imagine the texture of the red brick wall. Is it grainy or smooth? Imagine the tick-tock sound of the clock. Imagine raising your astral body arms and slowly pushing your hands through the red brick wall. As you push your hands through the wall, feel soft vibrations as they pass through the energy matrix of the wall. Now, push your arms into the wall and feel your hands pass through and out the other side into empty space. Feel your arms tingling and vibrating as they pass through the energy matrix of the wall. Now, slowly move your whole body through the wall as you feel a buzzing sensation from head to toe. As you pass slowly through the wall with your astral body, buzzing from head to toe, repeat this affirmation. Now I fully activate my astral body as I raise my internal vibrational energy for astral projection. Okay, open your eyes. What you just experienced was a tactile hallucination, which is the sensation of physical contact with an imaginary object. If you were able to visualize the scene, great, but that was not the point. The point was to demonstrate how an imagined sense of touch can be just as effective as visualization. With your non-physical senses, you can create basic perceptions of touch to create realistic, physical-like sensations of shape, temperature, texture, and vibration. Instead of visualizing the wooden floor, you imagine your bare feet against the cold wood. Instead of visualizing the grandfather clock, you hallucinate the sound of tick-tock, tick-tock. And instead of seeing yourself pushing your hands through the wall, you imagine the feeling of soft vibrations and tingling sensations as they pass through the wall's energy matrix. Just by creating a sense of sound and touch, you can go deep into the experience. And as you go deeper and deeper into the experience, you create the perfect conditions for astral projection practice. Just imagine becoming totally absorbed in a sensory-rich hallucination of touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. Okay, close your eyes again. I now want you to imagine walking along a white, sandy beach. Imagine the smell of the sea. Imagine the salty taste on your lips. The sound of crashing waves on the shore. A warm wind blowing against your face. And the hot sand under your feet. Now imagine yourself going deeper and deeper into the experience, to the point of losing all awareness of your physical body and physical reality. And then, out of nowhere, for no reason, you feel a surge of energy that completely grabs your attention, and you become aware again. You're lying in corpse pose on your bed as you feel your astral body arms and legs floating freely. This is exactly how it can happen. 1 minute, you're completely absorbed in your sensory hallucination, and in an instant, your astral body has this reaction. But how? Because it didn't happen out of nowhere or for no reason. For 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes, you built a powerful momentum of energy doing breathing exercises and affirmations. You invoked the law of attraction, where attention goes, energy flows. You absorbed yourself in a sensory-rich hallucination, and your astral body reacted. It reacted because you created the strong sense of already being out of your body, and you had enough prana to get off the launch pad. You literally created the perfect conditions for astral projection. Okay, let me walk you properly through my 2-stage astral projection technique. So immediately after finishing the breathing and affirmation exercise, keep your physical body absolutely still and switch to doing what I describe next. Lying on your bed in corpse pose, arms down next to your sides, legs uncrossed, eyes closed, imagine a second transparent body surrounding your physical body. This transparent body represents your energy body, which takes the same shape as your physical body. I then imagine localized special effects within my transparent energy body, which means I imagine sensations like tingling in my fingers and toes. I imagine vibrations at the back of my head. I imagine my chakras spinning while imagining the colors of the rainbow glowing brighter and brighter within my transparent energy body. I imagine making movements by wiggling my transparent energy body fingers and toes. I imagine lifting up my energy body arms and legs in super slow motion. I imagine a swirling energy around my third eye as it absorbs prana. I imagine spiritual energies rising up my spine into my head and pineal gland, as I imagine this small rice-sized gland surrounded by a crystalline chamber that resonates and vibrates, causing my pineal gland to glow. I then imagine my transparent energy body limbs, torso, and head buzzing with energy as I repeat affirmations like, "Now I fully activate my higher astral body as I raise my intentional vibrational energy to that of the astral planes." I just repeat the affirmation again and again silently in my head. And whether you're visualizing images or imagining all the special effects with your non-physical senses, do your best to create a point of view perspective where you see or imagine things happening through your energy body eyes, seeing the special effects or imagining the special effects taking place right in front of you. By doing this, it makes it all seem more natural and real. Just keep your physical body still and your eyes closed during the stage. After about 10 minutes of imagining localized special effects within my transparent energy body, I then immediately switch to imagining non-localized special effects within my astral body. I imagine my astral body as another transparent body surrounding my physical body and energy body. I imagine my transparent astral body glowing brightly around me as I feel myself rotating, flipping, and flopping in all directions around the bed. I then imagine a bright flash of light, and suddenly I'm walking around the room. I'm walking around my house. I imagine the scene with all my non-physical senses. With my non-physical senses, I create basic perceptions of touch to create realistic, physical-like sensations of shape, temperature, texture, and vibration. Just like earlier when we created the tactile hallucination of standing barefoot on a wooden floor next to an old grandfather clock which stood against a red brick wall, or the sensory-rich hallucination of the beach, just create a point of view perspective where you see or imagine things happening through your astral body eyes, seeing the special effects or imagining the special effects taking place right in front of you. And as you transition from one scene to another, just repeat the affirmations over and over silently in your head. Stuff like, now my higher astral body is fully activated as my internal vibrational energy vibrates higher and higher. For me, when I'm doing localized and non-localized special effects, here's what's going on inside of me. As I'm imagining the special effects, I'm completely immersed in feelings of joy, excitement, and ecstasy. And I'm feeling total mental and emotional commitment to the process. After about 10 minutes of imagining non-localized special effects, I switch back to imagining localized special effects within my transparent energy body. And then, after about 2 minutes of imagining localized special effects, I switch back to imagining non-localized special effects within my astral body for another 2 minutes. I then switch back and forth between localized and non-localized special effects for about a further 10 minutes before switching to stage 2 of my astral projection technique, where I allow myself to just space out. For about 10 minutes, I just space out on the good vibes I created from doing the breathing, the affirmations, the special effects. I just space out. And as I'm spacing in and out of awareness, I start drifting in and out of light sleep, where the real deal astral projection special effects can jolt you back into awareness and into the light trance state where astral projection transitions can occur. Most beginners to astral projection don't realize the importance of allowing yourself to space out, to trance out, to drift in and out of light sleep during practice. Most people associate falling asleep during practice with failure. But falling asleep because you're tired or distracted is not the same as drifting in and out of light sleep after putting in 110% effort during the breathing, the affirmations, and the special effect exercises. When you've really put in the work, allowing yourself to trance out into light sleep creates the ideal state for astral projection, because sometimes you need to get completely out of the way of what is essentially a natural process. The difference, though, is this. When I fall asleep without practicing, I fall asleep to the reality of my double life on the other side, on other worlds during unconscious sleep. But when I practice energy work or set my intention to wake up on the other side, I inevitably find myself drifting in a light daze on the other side, which I've trained myself to become aware of. Because make no mistake, each and every night you fall into unconscious sleep, you become oblivious to your double life on the astral. You fall asleep here and you have unconscious astral projection experiences there. But when you show up and put in the practice and then drift into sleep here, you start to wake up there more often and life becomes more interesting. Dipping in and out of light sleep creates the ideal conditions for astral projection because when you're jolted back into awareness, you enter a brief window of light trance, which can be used for making conscious astral projection transitions. I call this the wake to trance technique. And my advice is that when you're jolted back into awareness, keep your physical body perfectly still and your eyes closed. Then cycle through a quick reality check technique where you ask yourself these 3 things. 1, what can I see? 2, what can I hear? 3, what can I feel? Can you see through your closed eyelids or your eye mask? Can you see a source of bright light that appears to be coming from within? Can you feel energy sensations like strong vibrations or tingling, which is usually a sign your chakras are active and flooding your energy field with prana? Can you hear internal sounds like clicking, popping, banging, your name being called, or music? Also test if you can move your energy body limbs while keeping your physical body absolutely still. If any of your reality checks test positive, then make an immediate attempt to exit your body by rolling out or floating up, or do whatever your instincts prompt you to do. If you don't see, hear, or feel anything, or if you make an exit attempt but nothing happened, just keep your physical body still and your eyes closed. Then switch straight into doing some light belly breathing, inhaling and exhaling through your nose for about a minute. Then cycle through the localized special effects and non-localized special effects technique for about 10 minutes, giving it a solid effort before allowing yourself to space out again. You then just keep repeating the entire process again and again until you succeed or until your practice session comes to an end. As I said earlier, my personal practice is a dedicated 3-hour period because the longer practice period ensures I have enough time to cycle through the entire process 4 or more times, which is like 4 days of practice in just one session. And I focus on succeeding, nothing else. Success could be as simple as seeing through my closed eyelids or eye mask during my session, which is a sign my third eye or astral vision has activated, which is a fantastic experience in itself. If my alarm clock then goes off to let me know 3 hours has passed, then you know what? That's good enough for me. That was a success. Success could also mean entering the vibrational state, but maybe not having an out-of-body experience, just feeling the raw energy flooding through my energy body. This is a powerful and motivational experience in itself. Or a success could be a short out-of-body experience that only lasts a few seconds, such as experiencing floating up to the ceiling where the experience comes to an end. But all of these successes need to be celebrated because each success will lead you to the ultimate success of inducing a fully conscious astral projection experience to the astral planes, where you achieve a breakthrough spiritual experience that confirms beyond all doubt that you will survive death by confirming the existence of the afterlife. You might even have an experience where you're briefly reunited with a deceased loved one or a beloved pet. So remember, what all good Jedi say, your focus determines your outcome. So focus on succeeding, not failing. When you're awake, eat, drink, sleep, live astral projection. That means think positive thoughts about succeeding throughout your day by visualizing successful outcomes. I've developed a manifestation astral projection visualization exercise which you can use for manifesting your own successful outcomes. The method involves choosing someone you completely trust, someone who totally supports your practice, because they will be the one you celebrate the success with when you succeed. Okay, here's what you do. Start by taking a few minutes to imagine yourself successfully leaving your body through first-person perspective. Imagine leaving your body and successfully performing a task like walking through a wall or flying. Then imagine yourself returning to your body and celebrating. Imagine the celebration through first-person perspective. Imagine and feel the feelings of happiness, exaltation, joy. Feel the feelings wash through every cell in your body and every molecule of your being. Imagine celebrating with the person you chose. Imagine hearing them say something positive and supportive like, "I had absolute faith you'd succeed. Congratulations." Do this visualization once a day for 30 days. And do your astral projection practice as often as time allows. Even a few short sessions are fine, but make time for a few longer sessions too. This is one of the most powerful tools for manifesting astral projection success, because as an out-of-body explorer, I've learned this one powerful insight. We live in a thought-responsive universe where focused, sustained thought brings our imagination to life. Okay, that's it. It's that simple. Astral projection itself really isn't that hard. The hard bit is being consistent. The hard bit is learning to ignore the negative self-talk that wants you to take the easy road or quit altogether. The hard bit is staying focused. The hard bit is staying inspired. The hard bit is dealing with the lack of support from friends and family. The hard bit is dealing with people thinking what's important to you isn't real. The hard bit is making the time to practice. The hard bit is dealing with your biggest fears, like, what if I put in all this time and energy into practicing and I still can't do it? What if I'm just not meant to do it? Listen, you didn't find this video today by chance, but by choice, because nothing happens by chance. You are not required to believe in the effectiveness of the practice. You are just expected to take a chance and follow the instructions, because by following the instructions, you will succeed. However, if along the way to succeeding, if you need to restore your faith in succeeding, you can return to this video again and again to refresh your memory of what is needed to succeed. Also, to make it easier for you to succeed, I've created some guided astral projection meditations to help guide you through a complete end-to-end astral projection practice. Every single thing I've talked about in this video has been incorporated into these guided experiences. Just keep in mind, these are not your average guided astral projection meditations. These are some of the guided meditations used by participants of my annual 9-day astral projection retreat workshops. As such, there are a few things you need to keep in mind before using them. Firstly, the breathing exercises at the beginning of my guided meditations are likely faster than what you're used to, which might cause lightheadedness the first few times you use them. If you do feel lightheaded, just slow down or stop. Just don't overdo it. Most people struggle in the beginning, so just build up slowly, one day at a time. Also, faster breathing does not mean you're going to hyperventilate. Typical hyperventilation happens when you exhale for longer than you inhale, causing uncontrolled, uneven breathing. Faster breathing styles have been practiced safely for hundreds of years. From the ancient Tummo meditation practiced in Tibetan Buddhism to the more modern-day Wim Hof method, both of which use controlled, even breathing patterns for increasing vital life force energy. The breathing pattern in my guided meditations are 1 second inhale and 1 second exhale, which is comparable to research that reveals our breathing increases to between 15 to 30 breath cycles per minute during our longest REM sleep cycles, which is dream-related sleep. It's theorized that increased melatonin is being produced during this faster breathing stage, which probably plays a role in dream formation. It's further theorized small amounts of DMT, also known as the spirit molecule, is also being produced due to the increased breathing. If this is all new to you, I suggest keeping an open mind to this new information and be open to personal experimentation, because controlled breathing has been used for thousands of years by shamans and spiritual practitioners to energize the subtle bodies for journeying, as well as to achieve psychedelic-like states without using psychedelics. Finally, keep in mind, my guided meditations are not magic bullets. Even though I put a lot of thought into creating them, you still have to put in a lot of effort each time you use them. Also, there are a few extended silent sections for spacing in and out of awareness, so don't mistake the silence for the end of the meditation. You'll know when the meditation comes to end. That I promise. So if you want to use them as part of your regular astral projection practice, you can find the links in the description below. But stay there, we're almost done. So here are the most important takeaways. Number 1, breathing exercises increase energy levels and your chances of success because air is the physical manifestation of prana, which means control your breathing, control the energy to astral project. Number 2, affirmations increase your power to focus and your chances of success because like thoughts create like actions, meaning your power to astral project is equal to your power of focus. Number 3, although the ideal time for doing spiritual practices is about an hour and a half before sunrise due to abundant levels of prana in the atmosphere at that time, universal energies can be generated and amplified using pyramids and other scalar technologies. So check the description for my recommended links to help you discover more. Number 4, spacing in and out of awareness after giving 110% effort during the breathing, affirmations, and special effects exercises creates the sweet spot where the magic of astral projection can happen. Number 5, To achieve your astral projection goals, you need to learn to become totally absorbed in your practice by letting all other stuff, non-goal related or intention related, go. So for whatever amount of time you've decided to devote to practice on a given day, you need to have the mindset that nothing else matters during that time. Focus your mind 100% on each individual stage of your astral projection system. If you're building energy, then focus your mind like a laser on doing correct breathing and repeating the affirmations. If you're doing the special effects exercises, then totally immerse yourself in creating sensory-rich hallucinations with all your non-physical senses while moving through the scenes in the first-person perspective and making each movement as physically realistic as possible. That basically means feel the wind in your face, feel grass under your feet, feel objects in your hands. Just total immersion. Nothing else matters during the stage. Just focus on becoming totally involved with each stage of your practice, and if your mind starts to wander or you get distracted, then take it as a reminder you need to refocus. After a few days of constant reminders to refocus your mind, you'll start to build the mental muscles necessary for maintaining a focused mind within an altered state. Because for a lifetime, you've not trained yourself to stay focused while in an altered state. Most people's experience of altered state is literally going from wakefulness to sleep. You were not trained like a monk to meditate when you were young, so it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to learn to focus your mind if you want to succeed at astral projection, because like I said earlier, your focus determines your outcome. Also, a lack of focus can be linked to unconscious fears. Fears that will manifest as tiredness, boredom, frustration, self-doubt, procrastination, and more. Ultimately, you can see your lack of focus as a fear test, a universal test to see if you're serious enough, to see if your desire is strong enough, to see if you have the strength to keep going, to see if you're ready for new levels of learning, to see if you're fully committed to this path. So see your astral projection practice as an opportunity to unlearn fear, because fear is the only true block to successful astral projection and exploring other worlds. As you work on your fears, you will remove the blocks to astral projection, as well as spiritual enlightenment in general, because enlightenment is the process of unlearning fear. Number 6, be realistic. If you were not born with the talent to astral project, then you have to develop it as a skill. And like all skills, it takes time to develop. So be realistic with your expectations. As an example, would you be able to succeed at the carnival ladder game in one go without falling off? How about the hang challenge, where you hang from a chin-up bar for 100 seconds? Maybe pole vaulting. Would you succeed first go? This is called setting yourself up for a fall, and when you fall, your negative self-talk gets to kick you when you're down. With unrealistic expectation, your ego wins and you lose. Number 7, you keep going until you succeed. Like I said earlier, I usually practice for 3 hours because the juice has to be worth the squeeze. But for any reason, if I feel like quitting before the 3 hours is up, I psych myself back up again. I keep going because I'm focused on succeeding. And success could look as simple as finishing the session. To me, my astral projection practice is sacred. So self-respect is vital. Oh, and one more thing. You do not have to justify your interest in astral projection to anyone, especially people who don't believe it's real. Your interest in astral projection is real, and the feelings driving you to discover the truth about reality through astral projection is coming from a very real place deep inside you. You're not drawn to astral projection for no reason. Your motivation for wanting to develop your natural gift to travel between worlds is to connect with the love and support available to you on these other worlds. Why do you think when you look up at the stars at night, you feel so drawn to them? It's because you instinctively know your spiritual home is out there somewhere. And astral projection was supposed to be your way to visit home, to travel between these worlds while physically incarnated here on Earth. Astral projection is what makes the reality of your spiritual home real again, which in turn makes navigating the ups and downs of everyday life on this world easier, because it reminds you that you're not exclusively of this world. It reminds you of the loving support available to you on the spiritual dimensions, all of which strengthens your resolve for why you came here in the first place. On the more advanced worlds where higher consciousness is the norm, astral projection is developed as a skill from a very young age. It's normal on those worlds for cultures to teach their children to use this tool to be able to visit friends on other levels, to remember who and what they really are, and to restore their faith in why they chose to physically incarnate in the first place. It's only natural to long for home. And it wasn't your fault that when you were a kid, nobody around you had the answers to why this longing for something you couldn't put your finger on made you feel like you didn't belong here, or made you feel like a misfit. Astral traveling will change all of this, because it's in the act of traveling itself that changes us in ways that inspire us to let go of the old and allow in the new. Visiting home doesn't have to be a distraction for your earthbound life. Nor does it make you less grounded than those who don't feel the calling for home. In fact, when people ask me what's the biggest everyday benefit I've experienced from my out-of-body exploration practice, my answer is always the same. I feel more grounded and alive in my waking life because astral projection helped me dissolve my fear of death by showing me through first-hand experience that I have an essence inside me that not only survives death, but precedes birth. This overview has given me an unwavering strength to not just live here, but to feel alive here. So trust me when I say you don't have to feel ashamed for longing for home, because feeling connected to home makes you feel part of something bigger, while taking part here on this world. You were born with partial immunity to the human amnesia for a reason, so embrace astral projection. Because you're on a mission that requires you to not just remember home, but to regularly connect with it for recharging your spiritual batteries, as well as for a source of guidance and inspiration. Just see it as one of your spiritual superpowers, that when fully developed as a skill, will allow you to better serve this world, because by connecting to the love and support from other worlds, it makes living on this world easier, and helps you fulfill your mission as a light worker. Okay, Reality Explorers, that's it from me for now. If you've enjoyed watching this video and feel you've gained value from it, I'd be really grateful for your support in return by giving this video a thumbs up, as well as clicking the subscribe button and turning on notifications. And feel free to comment below if you have any questions. Also, it really helps my YouTube channel grow when you share my videos on other platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and other social media sites. So please feel free to share. And for those of you who would like to take part in one of my 9-day astral projection retreat workshops, visit the link in the description below for full details. Finally, if you'd like to watch my video on the long version on how to astral project, click the video above, which is an in-depth and comprehensive guide to astral projection, which contains everything you're going to need to achieve your first conscious out-of-body experience. Right. See you out there or in here again soon, but until then, go live a beautiful life.